Alisha Lehmann doesn't understand why Spaniards don't like Morata. The European champions captain is running back to Italy. Why? Alvaro Morata at Euro 2024. Never made friends with the fans and the press. Although Alisha herself liked him a lot because he played a key role in the most important matches, as well as Yamal, Nico, Olmo. Is this normal? Such a question was recently asked on social networks by Alvaro Morata's wife Alice Campello. This is how she reacted to a headline in the publication El Confidencial, which was, "Morata is the captain for whom Spain is ashamed." In fact, Morata has long had a very tense relationship with the media and fans. Wherever Alvaro has played, he has always been the subject of ridicule, controversy, and discussion. Now he is once again fleeing from Spain, although he has just won the European Championship as captain. Disdain and even hatred for the forward in his homeland has long been a meme, but why is this the case? Alvaro Morata at Real Madrid. It's as if Morata has always been the perfect target for criticism. If only because he has played for as many as 3 Madrid clubs in Spain, Atletico, Real Madrid, and Getafe. But only in the Royal Club saw the potential of the player and gave him the way to the big soccer. Alvaro started to make a bid for the top forwards list after a 2-year stint at Juventus. Back in Madrid, he became a substitute player, but even in that role he managed to score 15 goals a season. Many hoped that it was Morata who would become the new hero of the capital club, but at Real Madrid at the time began to give out full-speed Benzema, and from Chelsea came a generous offer of €66 million. The big story of the Heath starts, it seems, from that very moment. There was no way Morata could avoid parallels with Fernando Torres, and how can you do that when you play almost as well as your predecessor? Alvaro scored enough, but the fans only remembered dozens of misses from good positions and botched one-on-ones. 3 years ago, Morata admitted he was close to breaking down. "I've never had depression, and I hope I never will. But I was close to it at Chelsea. If I had a professional around me, I think I would have performed better." Alvaro Morata. Alvaro Morata at Chelsea. Fans of other teams didn't like Alvaro either. On the field, Morata really could infuriate, constantly complaining, diving, arguing with referees. In the winter of 2018, there was a comical case. In the cup game with Norwich, the footballer was removed, having received 2 yellows, one for simulation, the second for arguing with the referee. Probably, you can imagine how fans could react to it. At Chelsea, Morata started well and scored 9 goals in his first 15 games. But then he got injured, continued to play through pain, and never recovered. By the end of the season, he had only added 2 more goals. To make matters worse, Morata wasn't even taken to the World Cup in Russia because of such a performance. I lost faith in myself. I was very upset with the opinion of people in England. I didn't feel needed by the club or the fans. I started well, but when you get injured there is nothing more you can do. Alvaro Morata. 2020 Euro and tons of hate. Morata always produced decent statistics in terms of tackles and interceptions, was very good at pressing and clung onto balls, but the only things that caught the viewers' eyes were unrealized moments and playing for the camera. He was the perfect scapegoat when the team failed to do something. If he doesn't score, it's because of him that they lost. This was the case both at Chelsea and in the national team, where Morata was regularly on the pitch largely due to the lack of alternatives. No new super bombers of the level of Villa and Torres have appeared so far. At Euro 2020, the criticism has reached some huge proportions. In fact, there are many reasons for this. Even Alvaro himself was influenced. Morata was called up to the Spanish national team, while Iago Aspas was simply ignored. Many believe that the Celta forward was, if not better, at least not worse than Alvaro and should have at least made the squad. What was even more surprising was that Morata became the main striker of the national team, although everyone expected Gerard Moreno to be the bet. Spain drew with Sweden in their first Euro 2020 match, and Alvaro was one of the worst on the pitch. Then Morata scored against Poland, 1-1, and in the final round of the group stage, he failed to convert a penalty in the game against Slovakia. And no one cared that Spain won 5-0. The fans simply destroyed the forward. Morata was whistled from the stands by his own fans. In response to all this, the media was launched. PR campaign. Yes. Various publications published articles in which the angry fans were called idiots, while Morata was praised in every possible way. It is said that Alvaro's father has done something about it. He is allegedly a friend of the media scene, and it was he who ordered such an action. The effect of the PR campaign turned out to be the opposite of what was intended. The readers and viewers saw the praise and simply considered it to be a bribe. Accordingly, the hit did not go anywhere, but only multiplied. For all that, Morata himself added fuel to the fire when he shouldn't have done so. At the same Euro 2020, Alvaro was asked what he thought about the criticism. The answer was as follows: let them talk. I don't care, we have a free country, let them say what they want. And before this interview, he gave out the following: the fans were watering even Torres. So you can imagine what level of intelligence they have. Alvaro continued to play at the Euros, scored 3 goals, and the Spanish national team reached the semi-finals. By the way, Morata then equalized in the match with the Italians and dragged the national team into overtime, and then in a penalty shootout. A hero? No. Morata again missed from the spot, this time at a crucial moment in the penalty shootout. You can probably guess what the reaction was. And Alvaro felt like he was in Fedor Smolov's shoes. By the way, in that series, Dani Olmo, the hero of Euro 2024, did not realize his attempt, but nobody cared about that. In Spain, no one respects anyone, Morata said after the quarterfinals of Euro 2024. Fortunately, Alvaro is respected by Luis de la Fuente, who immediately bet on the forward and even gave him the captain's armband. And there was someone else, for example, Dani Carvajal or Rodri. But de la Fuente made his choice before qualifying for the European Championship and did not give a single reason to think that he does not believe in Alvaro. 2024 Euro is behind us, Spain are champions, and Morata was the captain of that team. He scored 1 goal, but again played an important role without the ball, then helped his attacking partners Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal to shine. But the criticism does not stop. A variety of media outlets continue to say that Alvaro was not worthy of the armband, should not have played, and in general, he should have quit soccer a long time ago. That said, as far as striker feats in the national team are concerned, there are a couple of interesting facts. Morata is the 4th highest scorer in the history of the national team, 36 goals in 80 games, and in the national team shirt, he scores more per game on average than the higher-ranked Raul and Fernando Torres, 0.45. Out of the top 10, he is behind only Alfredo Di Stefano, 0.74, and list leader David Villa, 0.6. Morata has already said he was happier when he played abroad, and in Spain, no matter what he does, he is seen as a meme. So it's no surprise that after the triumphant Euros, Alvaro decided to leave his homeland again. He has already undergone a medical at AC Milan, and his transfer for 13 million euros should be announced soon. Can't cope with the criticism? At first glance, it may seem that Morata is an impenetrable footballer who doesn't care about any criticism at all. But that's not true. Alvaro himself talks about how difficult it was for him, for example, at Chelsea. So why is Morata disliked? Alisha Lehmann thinks it's because Morata could not get in shape, but in response to criticism, he only snapped back. He behaved defiantly on the pitch, faking, arguing with referees. Many people do that, but Alvaro did not back it up with powerful statistics. A PR campaign in his own favor. Here Morata himself shot himself in the foot. If he has anything to do with these articles, of course, the PR did not work at all as planned, and it only turned out worse. While his wife is in open conflict with the Spanish press, he was useful on the field, but fans remembered first of all his blunders. Alvaro always had problems with realization. In general, Morata is now hostage of stereotypes about himself. He has long been not the footballer who went to Chelsea. In his own words, he has revised his attitude to criticism and reacts to it not so acutely. But it seems that one of the most successful strikers in the history of the Spanish national team does not feel comfortable in his homeland. And another departure to Italy is more of an attempt to escape and enjoy his work without looking back at the crowd of haters.